everyone. Last lesson, we discussed the introduction of food and beverage services and its competencies. Again, when we say food and beverage services, it is defined as the process of preparing, presenting, and serving of food and beverage service to the customers. And it consists 6 competencies that a person must achieve to provide food and beverage service to guests in various food and beverage service facilities. Again, what are those competencies? First one, prepare the dining room or restaurant area for service. Next, welcome the guests and take food and beverage orders. Promote food and beverage products. Provide food and beverage service to guests. Provide room service, and last one, receive and handle guest concerns. So those are the core competencies of food and beverage services. So today we will discuss the types of food and beverage services. Food and beverage services can be of the following 2 types. It can be on-premise or off-premise. Now let's discuss first the on-premise. Let's discuss first the on-premise. On-premise happens when your kitchen is within the venue where an event is held. The food prepared on site and served there as well. The customer visits the premise to avail the food service. The premises are kept well equipped and well finished to attract customers to avail food and beverage service. For example of on-premise, this could be the restaurants or a hotel where people gather for an event. On the other hand, the off-premise. Off-premise is also called as outdoor catering. It happens when a caterer prepares food on their premises and have it transported by food trucks to the location of an event where it is served to guests. Also, it includes partial cooking, preparation, and service at customers' premises. And it is provided away from the food and beverage services providers based on the occasion of major events which call for a large number of customers. The food on off-premise catering is kept warm by buffet warmers, and just a few caterers are on site to take care of the guest orders. What are the difference between on-premise and off-premise? First one, in number of guests. With on-premise catering, the number of guests you can have in your event is limited, mainly because of the size of the physical size of the premise. A restaurant in this case, for example, if the caterer has one whole floor of a building as their premises, the highest number of guests you can have at your event is around. On the other hand, with off-premise catering, you can have any number of guests as long as you can afford to have them all taken care of. The open-air space allows you to have a large number of tables set. Compared to on-premise catering, this type of catering requires the caterer and the shopper to have adequate planning beforehand to ensure the needs of every guest are attended to. Next, in types of services. With off-premise catering, you are simply shopping for menus and service. This is because with this type of service, you are not at liberty to choose much of service types and styles. So the most common type of service is usually buffet, where your guests line up and proceed to serving themselves, or the caterers can serve them with their favorite type of meals. With on-premise catering, you are at liberty of choosing extra services apart from food. You could have your guests enjoy music at the dance floor. The premise could be revolving restaurants where guests have a view of the city. In short, With on-premise catering, you do not just shop for food and service. You also get to enjoy other treats that you cannot get with off-premise catering. In terms of convenience, on-premise catering is your best choice if convenience is your main area of concern. The reason behind this is that the area could be one large open space that is known to many people. It also means that you are free from weather elements such as rain and hot sun. In addition to this, you will be at liberty of ordering the caterers from time to time since all you need is readily available. With off-premise catering, convenience might be a challenge. The reasoning behind this is that you do not get to enjoy the availability of ready caterers because they cannot come with everything on the site. Furthermore, the location could be hectic to access in a city or town. It could also mean negotiating heavy traffic, which could be very tiring and time-consuming before you find your way through. In cost of service, on-premise catering is a little more expensive because of the variety of extra services offered to you and your guests. For this reason, the cost is usually a bit higher. In addition, the caterer has to pay for other things such as utility bills, large number of service staff, personnel, and rent. Off-premise catering, on the other hand, is a little inexpensive, bearing in mind that you enjoy just a little number of treats. In addition, the number of catering staff is relatively low, which means the caterer does not ask much. In addition, the caterer is not paying for utility bills and rent. Hence, this becomes your bargaining point. So that's the difference between on-premise and off-premise. So between on and off-premise services, there is none which can be said to be better than the other. Your choice will depend on the nature of event, size of budget, number of guests, and the season of the year which you are planning to hold an event. So again, food and beverage services can be of the following two types: on-premise and off-premise. On-premise is when food is prepared and served at a physical location of a certain catering services. On the other hand, off-premise catering happens when a caterer prepares food on their premises and has it transported by food trucks to the location of an event where it served to guests. So that's all for our concept note number 2.